Hi everyone, it's Tom here and welcome. Today I'm going to try my best to show any of you new players um, how to get a good start in Dark Souls, and I guess just a general walkthrough for people who are just starting out the game. I find Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, or just Dark Souls 2 in general, is probably the best one to start with. I've got about 300 hours in each of the games, and I want to say that Dark Souls 2, gameplay wise, is probably my favorite, but I think my favorite of all time is probably still Dark Souls. Just, the world and everything is so perfect. So without further ado, let's stop randomizing this face. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Alright, well let's head out. Oh shit, a gift. I guess that's the first thing. Gifts. Life Ring is not really useful because you can acquire it in the world. Human Effigy, it's fairly useful, depending on how much you die. I've played the game for a long time now, so taking a Human Effigy as the first gift is kind of a waste for me because I'm not going to end up needing it. Healing Wares are a good all-around starter if you don't want to have to worry about how many healing items you have in the beginning, because in the beginning there's a lot less healing items than I find in Dark Souls 1, but once you kind of start collecting them, there's a lot more than in Dark Souls 1. Homeward Bone, I would not take this. There's a place right in the beginning in Majula that you can get 9 of them, and 9 of them will easily last you throughout the entirety of the game because you will not be actually traveling back to bonfires a lot. Seed of the Tree of Giants is a good choice. Very fun if you get invaded. That's the only problem, though, is you need to be invaded for it to be useful. What it will do is it will make all enemies attack the invader just like they attack you. So it's a good way to kind of catch them off guard, and if you're going through an area that's a little bit harder, maybe the invader will inadvertently kind of help you by killing some enemies. Bonfire Aesthetic would not recommend for new players. All it does is ups the difficulty of a certain region via the bonfire, by increasing its intensity to that of like a New Game Plus. Petrified Something is the one I generally take. You can trade it to Dino and Tilly in the beginning, and it's probably the best starter if you don't really know what you want to pick, but you don't want healing wares. So that's usually what I do. So let's finalize this creation, and let's go. I'm just going to be skipping cutscenes so that way you can experience them for the first time. Up here there is, in Dark Souls 2, if you have the pre-order edition, there's... No, never mind. I was going to say that's where the items are, but you just get those. Just a Human Effigy up there. So yeah, you don't really need the Human Effigy in the beginning because the game gives you one in the beginning anyways. So we'll grab this bonfire, not that we need to rest at it yet. Grab this item, which takes about, I think, 3 good hits. Yeah, maybe 4 if you have hands. I mean, if you're using your hands. We all have hands. So let's go ahead and go into the first tutorial area they have set up here. So, on these tombstones, it'll tell you how to play the game. So the first one is use R1 to attack. Very standard. It's a little bit odd since most games are A and X to attack. Or sorry, I'm playing PS4. That'll be what usually square, circle, or X, again, would be what normal games would use. Two-handed is a little bit more damage. Takes more stamina, though, in a swing. All these guys, I'm going to skip a couple of those. Oh, I'm getting lost now. Let's see, what's this next one say? R1 behind there. That's how you do the backstab. You have to do that. Basically, that grab animation means that you're in the proper spot to backstab. Now, you are not invincible while backstabbing. You can still be hit, but for, I think, like 80% less damage. So, still, overall, it's better to do the backstab. And that was, I was just doing some heavy and light attacks. The heavy attacks are the trigger, as opposed to the bumper. I'm gonna just call it bumper and trigger from now on because I played a majority of the original Dark Souls on Xbox 360, and I'm just still used to their controllers. So I am rolling by hitting the circle button. Another thing that would be on one of those very early, whatchamacallit, Tombstones. They're Tombstones. So here we are at Dino and Tilly. And this is how you trade. You just leave it. You can only leave one item at a time. They take prism stones, small smooth silky stones, and petrified something. I think that's all they take. Or at least that's all I know that they take. We're gonna skip the rest of these tutorials because you don't. I personally don't need them. There's not really that many good items in them, so if you feel comfortable playing the game already, then you might as well just head out. I'm surprised I'm not seeing any messages yet. I don't know if I'm online. There we go, and I'm into the hub town. So yeah, anytime that you want to take a break, but obviously Dark Souls doesn't have the ability to pause, but you just want to, go and do something for a short amount of time, but don't necessarily want to quit the game, warp back to Majula, because you'll always be safe here as long as you don't fucking aggro those pigs over there. Now, I missed an item early on, and since I think I only have about 15 minutes per these cuts of video from a PS4, I will show you a couple of the items around Majula. So, dropping down here from the beginning, and then dropping down here, there is the Morning Star and a Cleric Sacred Chime. Morning Star is a pretty good weapon. I don't know if I can use it yet. I can. Interestingly, it is a bleed weapon that cannot be infused with bleed when there's a lot of other bleed weapons that still can be. That's something that I will not touch on until a lot later.
Are you?
So we're going to go ahead and talk to the Emerald Herald here, get our Estus Flask, get her to go through all the dialogue, and there. So we've unlocked the ability to level up. Now I'm going to go over and talk to this guy. I believe he's called the Crestfallen Warrior. We're going to just expand all of his dialogue as well. Because he will allow us into a covenant, which, I mean, it's a pretty useless covenant. No one really... Oh, I missed it. At least, if you say no, you can still go to here, learn the gesture, and you can join the Way of the Moon. God, my character is ugly. I should take off my helmet in the full glory. There we go. So, let's collect some more of the items around Majula. We won't be able to help him until about midway through the Force of the Fallen Giants. In here is the Armor Merchant, where if you spend a certain amount of souls at him, he will unlock the ability to sell certain boss armors once you've beaten the required bosses, like the Lost Sinner, the Smelter Demon, and then a lot of the end game bosses like the Throne Watcher, Throne Defender, and just a couple more of them that I just cannot think of at the top of my head. The cat in here gives you a lot of... She sells a lot of miscellaneous items which don't seem very helpful, but actually can be. Like, alluring skulls are an underappreciated item in the game, which allows certain enemies to aggro to them over you, even if they're already attacking you. They will always attack the skull instead, but it does not work on all enemies. The Ring of Whispers is important because it allows you to unlock dialogue with a certain NPC later in the game. The Name Engraved Ring allows you to set a certain god as like a password, and it will block out all other summon signs except for the summon signs that are under the same god wearing that ring. It will also, I believe, increase the tiers that you can summon from, because instead of The original Dark Souls works on a 10 levels and 10%. This works on a tiering system of soul levels, which is fairly complicated, and I'd have to look into it to actually explain it. The Red Eye Ring makes enemies easier to detect you. It also gives you a very cool effect of glowing red eyes. So it's a pretty cool ring. I haven't really used it much, so I don't really know how much it really affects how easy enemies can detect you. The Silver Cat Ring is it's pretty well required to get into the pit back there, because it drastically reduces damage from falling. The Ring of the Evil Eye is just, it's a waste of money, don't buy it. There's a better one down in that pit. So, now we've got our Estus Flask. I believe we have an Estus Shard as well. And those are used to upgrade the Estus Flasks. All we have to do is simply go here.
Seek lest this
and not level up. I will get into stats once I have enough to level up. Right now, I'll just make sure that I've got the Medula Bonfire activated. I'll rest there, and I will journey to the Forest of the Fallen Giants. Now, the Tombstones will explain to you that, circle is a very, very important button. It's the run and dodge button. So if you're running, you can, what I generally like to do is you click in the stick to jump, and it's a good way to kind of add a little roll to the end that gets you a little bit further than the normal roll does. Just wait for this gate here to open up, and that would not have any stability at all. I imagine you could just kick that away. Ironic that they took kicks out of the game. So down here, I grab this. I don't know where I was going with that. Grab the human effigy here. Now you have to be careful, because it actually, it looks like, oh, I can walk over there. But if you look close, there's a pit, and that will kill you. So you have to make this jump. Let me see if I can do it. Grab that item. You can also obviously enter through the cave back here, which just saves us some time. That enemy is very, very strong. It'll kill you pretty easily unless you're a very experienced player. Like even me, he doesn't drop anything specifically, so it's best to just avoid him by staying along the left riverbed, the left of the, I guess the left side is what I'm looking for. That word. Backstab this guy. Let's see if I can parry him. Oh, I did. Yeah, parrying. I'm not proficient enough to give like a perfect explanation, but basically, as the enemy's attacking you, you hit the left trigger, and it'll hit their weapon away and put them in a vulnerable state. So we'll grab this bonfire just in case anything happens. Continue on our journey. Now I like the the environments in this game, but it's definitely not as good as Dark Souls. It may it may be better than Demon Souls in certain areas. This does feel a lot more like a Demon Souls type Dark Souls game. Yeah, see right there, I did not take a significant amount of damage while parrying. Parrying is much like backstabbing. It puts you in a very defensive state, whereas in the original Dark Souls you were just completely invincible. So a very easy way to get through areas is to just parry and dodge, or parry and backstab everything, and you just don't get hurt. Oh, that was too bad. The hardest part about parrying is learning, like, when do I hit it and to not lose half my health. I'm still really, getting used to the thing. I'm pretty sure fundamentally it's the same. Okay, I'm just gonna kill this guy. I'm not gonna waste too much time on him. What is that down here?